Greetings, readers and travelers, and welcome to another episode of Stats on Stats. I know this is kind of weird. We're doing an episode that is not on a Sunday, but on a Tuesday morning. So this is going to be an interesting time. We were having internet issues last on Sunday, so that's why we couldn't go live. But now we are live, and that's what's important because today we're going to be talking about High Table and Hijinks by Mr. Chris Johns. But before we go into introducing him, just a few quick reminders. We still have our giveaways that we are going to be doing once we hit 200 followers on Twitch, 15 subscribers on Twitch, and then 100 subscribers over on our YouTube page. So don't miss out because you get 3 chances to win a complete series of your choice, like up to date. So if you wanted to go, I don't know, with The Ritualist on Audible, you would get the series from the start, Ritualist, all the way up to Inflame, I think is the most recent one.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's hard at work on the next 2.
Oh, he is actually. Yeah, I saw that post the other day and I screenshotted it and sent it to Joel because I was like, yes, next completionist book. But also, there's like 6 books in the series called Axe Druid that's on Audible. So if you really want to break our bank, you could do that.
Yeah.
But
one of those is huge.
Joining me today, as always, is, my co-host, my best friend in the world, the guy I know who has my back except when we're playing PvP because I know he'll just kick my ass, Joel Harvey. Joel, how we doing today?
That's me. Hi. I am fantastic. It's a morning.
Is it a morning?
It is a morning.
It's a
which
morning.
Is new. It feels weird. But yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah, I don't care how you're doing. I care about how our next guest is.
Feel wrong.
Joining us for the very first time today, author for Mountaindale Press and author of one of my favorite series, High Tables and Hijinks, Mr. Christopher Johns. Chris, how are we doing today?
Doing great. It's been a morning so far, just like you said, Joel. So yeah, I've got my gremlin with me today, so she gets to see her dad do an interview, and it's going to be fun talking about booze, baddies, and badasses. So, I've been playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland. So.
Oh no, we're gonna have a good time with this because this series is absolutely bonkers crazy. I've listened to the first 3 books all the way through at least I want to say 2 or 3 times now. So just to get anticipation for book 4, which I can't wait for that to come out. I started reading it on Kindle, but I was like, it's not the same without Christian. It's not the same.
Yeah, no, he's an outstanding narrator, and I am so glad.
So,
I went bullying myself into him.
Chris, why don't you give us a little bit of an intake on what is the High Table and what is the story of High Table and Hijinks?
Hijinks on Earth, essentially. So monsters have been a thing for centuries, since before even the dawn of man. And with that, they have a lot of pent-up stress and anxiety and aggression that they need to get out in some way, shape, or form. So the High Table was formed to help alleviate some of that while protecting humanity. You have a lot of monsters that are capable of ending the world, like Jormungandr, or the gods themselves. So we'll have to see what kind of things they like to drink. But I mean, the world itself is ours. It's just a little bit of an undercreeping of all these different mythologies and legends, lores and myths, all in one simple place with a nice cocktail.
So we have the bar, and well, before we talk on the bar, the story follows Marcus and his band of merry people. I was gonna say merry men, but he's got a whole cluster of people that follow him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
and a lot of them are ladies.
Who is Marcus?
Marcus Bola is a Marine who happened to get into some shit that he probably shouldn't have been. He was on tour overseas in the sandbox, as a lot of people like to call it, in those circles. got attached to a unit of egghead researchers who deemed to go to a place that was recently opened up by a sandstorm. So there was a large temple. He goes there and his unit gets slaughtered. The few survivors that managed to get away were in the convoy on their way back to base when they were attacked again. He gets hit, goes through pretty rigorous uh, recovery over in Bethesda, Maryland. We don't really see that. We just kind of like gloss over it, and then he goes home. But the entire time, he and his sergeant major suspected there was foul play of some sort. So while he's in hiding, he decides to work at his uncle's bar called the High Table. And he gets into even more shit there.
But it's fun shit.
Yeah.
It's
booze. Great.
Right? So, Joel,
Yeah.
what were your initial thoughts when I said, hey, we should check out this series called, The High Table? And what was your thought process? Because you and I, we always throw book names at each other. And we're like, hey,
Yeah.
let's check this out.
I mean, at first I just thought it was like another one of Richie's books that he was like, oh, someone talked about this on social media. They said it was really good, so we should try this. And then I'm like, but I'm in the middle of so many other books. I'm like, is it even a lit RPG? And he's like, yeah, it is. It kind of is. And so yeah, I tried it out. It was fantastic. Like, I love the just the characters are so wacky and fun that yeah, you just gotta love it.
Yeah.
Some
Well, thank you.
badass fighting and abilities and stats and mechanics. So yeah.
Yeah. So,
Not
just
have those.
quick backstory there for those who are just tuning in for the first time. Joel and I have very different tastes when it comes to our books. He focuses mainly on the mechanics. I focus mainly on the character development and like the emotional like backstory for them. And this book has both. And I knew that Joel was gonna like it because one, mechanics, two, it's just fun and there's a lot of references. And there's one of my favorite references that I'm going to bring up when we talk about a certain character. Because I even cackled at that. But you'll have to wait. And I know Chris already knows because I messaged him when that
I
line was
think I know
dropped.
which one you're talking
Oh
about.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, but with when I recommend a book or when Joel recommends a book, we both kind of just go, oh God, another one. And then we listen to it, we're like, oh yeah, that's really good. There's only a few that I've ever said, it's good, not my taste, but I respect it. Because I don't think there's like a bad book. Let me rephrase that. I've seen a few bad books. I'm not gonna drop names because I don't want to disrespect the
That
author
would
or
be
anything.
terrible.
Right? But no, when I usually just go through the lit RPG groups on Facebook or something. I'm like, oh, this dropped. Oh, this dropped. Oh, this dropped. And I don't even remember how someone recommended High Table to me. I think I just posted. I was looking for a new series that dealt with different mythologies and stuff, and I think that's when someone recommended High Table, and I was like, ooh, that looks good. And then I
It's
saw,
one of those books, man. Scratches a lot of itches.
and then someone said, oh yeah, it's connected to Axe Druid, and I was like, oh, I read the first few ones. I'll check this out because I like those. But then I never went back to the other books in the series. I need to, and I'm
You
actually
got
currently
three
redoing.
more.
I do. Actually, I have 6 altogether because I restarted, and I'm on book 1 right now.
About had a Macho Man Randy Savage moment. I got you for 3 more books.
I mean, I'm not complaining. You got me probably for a lot more books than that, honestly.
I would hope.
So, after we get the whole fun shenanigans of the opening, which is actually 100% bonkers, with Marcus and his team pretty much being destroyed.
Yep.
Like, I listened to this one in the car because, like I said, I drive for Lyft and Uber. So I listen to audiobooks. Everyone over in my area knows me as the audiobook guy because I always have an audiobook playing. And they're like, that's really cool. And then I have to tell them, oh yeah, this is what I'm listening to. This is what it's about. Whew. That opening, I was like, I have no idea what I'm in for, but this is absolutely fantastic, and I love it.
Yeah, it opens rather explosively.
It does. But that's what just makes it even more fun. Because if you don't
Yeah.
have an intense moment to open, you don't really have anything to go off of.
Yeah.
Because it's
Kinda like
it only
Bloodborne,
goes up
almost.
or here or from here, and that just shows, hey, this is gonna be fun. You're gonna be emotionally destroyed at some parts, like I was.
Yeah.
So after Marcus gets to the bar, talks to his uncle, he's on his first night. He serves alcohol to a character that probably should not have alcohol because it's poisonous to him. I forget his name. It's escaping.
Jolly.
Yes.
Yep. Jolly's fucking coward, that guy.
And then we meet Arden, his coworker, other
Yep.
bartender, and then Cassia, head of security.
Yep.
She's
Head of security
badass.
for High
She's an
Table.
absolute badass.
Dude, boss motherfucker, that kid.
And of course, we meet Galaxy, which is the title of the first book, which is like his inner power awakening,
Yeah. Yep.
celestial being.
I kind of
Dude,
refer
kind
to
of,
her as
Hitches a ride.
the patron. Like for
Yeah,
a warlock character,
Yeah.
she would be Marcus's patron.
But what
Absolutely.
class is Marcus?
He's a well,
they
okay.
actually don't have classes yet.
What class is he technically right now?
Technically, he could either be considered a cleric or a warlock.
Okay, because we have Cassia, who is pretty much like a berserker, because she's
Yeah,
a
she's a
badass.
barbarian.
She's a badass, and she's an Oni. So that's what makes her even cool. And that's the fun thing about his party members. They're not human. You have Arden, who's a Jin. If I pronounce that correctly, I'm afraid I'm gonna pronounce it incorrectly, like I do with Daniel Wisniewski's name. I think I did it right that time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Pretty sure.
because it's not
If it's wrong,
Wisniewski,
nobody
it's
can strike me, but-
Wisniewski. So, and then we have Cassia, who's an Oni, and
Listen,
damn, she's
I
a boss.
personally have a thing for like badass women, and if they're bigger than me, I mean, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Hallelujah! Pass the ammunition. I am
And when
in.
and when we first met Cassie, I was like, oh, she's gonna be like, a fun little like, love interest. I actually thought Arden was gonna be the love interest at first. Because like she kind of flirts with him at the bar on his first night, and I was like, oh, that's maybe just her personality. And then we get Cassie, and I was like, oh, okay, I can see it.
It is totally her personality.
Oh, it's great.
You're not wrong.
So he makes it through his first night. He doesn't really have anything super exciting happen except for the guys he kicks out, who is because that's on his first night, yeah. Which they are
first or second night, yeah.
Because he's the royal spoiled piece of shit. God, I hate that guy.
Listen, if you guys like entitled people getting their asses kicked or like shown the door,
First 50
boom, right
pages.
there, that scene is
First
so
50
for you.
pages. Which this is a pretty chunky book. How many pages was Galaxy?
Somewhere
Why
in
am
the
I asking? I can just look it up on Kindle.
I want to say 300-400, maybe. It's around 100,000 words, which is usually about 300.
I had table hygiene, so you are. Galaxy. I should have had this prepped. It is 368 pages, so not as chunky as I thought, but it's really good. And actually,
for an urban fantasy style book, yeah, I mean, it's pretty hefty.
And and right now the current stats on Amazon is for Amazon themselves ranks, it's pretty high up there, but it's number 44 in the teen young adult war and military fiction. number 52 in challenging gaming, and number 54 in the teen and young adult interactive adventure fiction ebooks. I didn't know this book was interactive.
Yeah, you can go in there and find recipes.
I mean, there are some pretty good Bloody Mary recipes in there.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure.
which will bring us to me getting to talk about my favorite boy, Lucifer Morningstar,
Oh yeah,
the
good old
actual
Lucy.
devil. And he
Mhm.
even gets to ask the question, "Tell me, Marcus, what is it you truly desire?" And Marcus goes, "Wait, did you steal that for the show? Did they get that right? Did they get that right?"
Yeah, it was. Personally speaking, this is just on me. I love the show Lucifer.
I
I
did.
thought it was absolutely fantastic. And there's absolutely no reason why a character can't just love themselves in a different aspect. And he absolutely loves Tom Ellis. He's a huge fan.
Tom Ellis one of the most talented guys out there. I don't care what anyone
Oh,
says.
for sure.
Because I went back and I watched Doctor Who, and I forgot he was in Doctor Who for an episode.
Oh, really?
He's
I
in
didn't know that.
I think it's Eccleston's, because it's a Rose Tyler episode where she's supposed to be
Uh-huh.
getting married, and he's like the groom. It's one of the very early.
Rose, what the fuck? Why didn't you marry him? He's perfect.
Right? It's the doctor's fault. The doctor interrupted the wedding. And then he was also in Once Upon a Time for like an episode
Yeah,
or two
yeah, he
because he
was
was
Hook
Robin Hood.
for well, was he?
I think it was
I thought
Robin
he
Hood.
was
Yeah.
Hook.
Oh, he might have been Hook.
I need to get back on Once Upon a Time. I'm so far behind on that.
He
show.
was only there for like the first like appearance, and then they changed the actor.
Ugh.
So I'm looking it up while we talk. But no, Lucifer, like, and he does even the whole like the favor trading and all that stuff, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is
Yeah.
perfect.
Now, to him, that's something that they got right.
Correct.
But yeah, Lucy's one of those characters that I was just like, how can I subvert expectations? Because
He was Robin Hood.
Oh, yes! Damn it. Okay, sorry. Back to current. I need to watch that show. So how can I subvert expectations and make a character that's typically seen as evil, fun, and engaging? So I was like, well, who's typically seen as evil in all ways, shapes, and forms? Well, Hades, yeah, cool. He's already got that kind of going on for him in a certain webtoon that I won't admit that I fucking love reading.
I'm all caught up on it currently, so don't feel ashamed.
But one of them was Lucifer. So I was like, well, how is he going to act? Like, what's he going to be like? Well, what if he's a fucking nerd? Okay, cool. Well, what if he's just a really nice guy who knows what hand he was dealt and his place in the universe and the war that is this religion? And he's just like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll be what you need me to be. Put me in, coach. And he just fucking does his job and treats people well when he can to kind of make up for it, you know? So I was like, he's definitely one of those characters that I'm very proud of, because you can see as the story progresses, like he's so much more than just an alcoholic who loves a good life. And he is by and far one of the most divisive characters in the series, because people have dropped the book to say he's the devil, he's a good guy, he's a nice guy.
Have you
This
not watched
author's a
Lucifer?
fucking
Because
asshole. Right. Well, I mean, even then, he's self-serving.
right,
He's going to do what he's got to do to get the things that he wants, but he still helps people because that is less detrimental to him to have them want to be around him.
mm-hmm.
Plus, he fucks everybody.
I think
so.
you're not wrong there. I think you captured his character perfectly because, like, I grew up in a super religious household. Like, I'm talking like super, like the devil was bad, all that stuff. And then when the Lucifer show came out on Fox, I watched it and I was like, oh, this is really good.
Mhm.
this is really fucking good. Because like I knew like Lucifer from like seeing different iterations of him from the Sandman comic and then also Constantine because I read the Hellblazer comics as well.
Yeah.
And so seeing him that way and then like oh yeah, Lucifer's going to be another DC-esque show. I was like, "Oh, cool." And then they actually bring him
Yeah.
into the DC universe for the CW verse
Mhm.
during Crisis on Infinite Earth, and he's on Earth 666, which I was like, "Come on, guys. You had an opportunity, so you took it." I can't yell at you for
Cool.
that. But no, you captured it perfectly. I was honestly waiting for Constantine to show up during one of the scenes just
Well,
because
Johnny Boy is in existence. I don't know if I have the right to bring him into Earth 6 was.
one more time you kind of got a little quiet there for me.
I don't know if John Constantine is one of those ones that I am allowed to bring into my universe.
I would say
However,
probably not because DC would be like, "Hey, the shit is this."
slap the shit out of you.
But also
But
DC doesn't know what they're doing right now, so we can't
yeah,
really.
if I'm being honest, we sort of have our Constantine like character. 1 second, I'm gonna struggle.
Oh, you're good. No worries. Um, so
We have
Joel,
our Constantine-esque characters, though.
we do, we do. Joel, who's your favorite character?
Oh man, probably Cassie, or just because one, she's a nerd. Two, she's a gamer, like weeb, like esque. Just gets all that like Japanese anime and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's a badass. So
Sure. Which
Yeah.
another fun thing I like about this is the characters do all have some sort of backstory. So we get Marcus's kind of backstory, like he was in the military. He kept getting enlisted. He has his son, his ex-wife. Were they married?
Ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend. Okay, I was like, I knew they had the kid together because it was his ex. I just couldn't remember if
Got
his.
his baby mama's.
Yes, he
Well,
does.
baby mama. There's no baby mama. Hopefully.
And she'll send him like pictures and email of his son through email and stuff, but he's never really allowed to see him, which
Right.
sucks. And then we find out why later. We'll kind of discuss that a little bit because pissed me off a little bit, but I understand. But so we'll run through backstories real quick, starting with Arden. Arden's backstory actually broke me.
Yeah.
Separated
Yeah,
from
he's,
her family.
yeah.
She was trapped. And then when we learned why she was trapped and who was the reason that caused her to be trapped and her family to be trapped.
Mhm.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so those trappings are called being bottled.
Right.
To the jinn, that is the worst possible thing that can ever happen to you. And that's for a very good reason, because using wish magic depletes your life force. So jinn essentially are immortal unless they've been bottled and forced to grant wishes, which drains their life. So the more like powerful the wish, like, oh yeah, I want money and fame, like, yeah, sure, that's a couple of years. I want to rule the known universe, dusted. Like it's that kind of force to be reckoned with. So like that she was bottled the way that she was
It's brutal.
hard. Yeah.
I wasn't ready. Like, I knew there was going to be some sort of, like, revelation with, like, oh, here's where, shit hit the fan. But, like, her getting to talk about, like, oh, yeah, she was married. She had kids. No, did she have kids?
She did have kids.
Right.
They were adopted. So this was shortly after she had escaped from her imprisonment and gotten all of the anger, rage, and fury out of her system. she kind of alludes to being responsible for some of the big like plagues in biblical times because she was real fucking mad. She was not in a good place.
I would be
But
too,
you find
not
out
gonna
that yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I was stuck in a bottle the entire time, I would not be Genie from Aladdin. I would be like Jafar level pissed off. But you find out that she had a family. She adopted some children that were parentless because of certain things. And she kind of watches over their lineages still and kind of brings them good luck if she can.
Sorry, Cat wanted in the room, so I had to get out. And
No,
walk
you're
around.
fine. You're fine. I've got 3 dogs.
Baby.
They're insane.
Good girl. So we have her backstory, and then Cassia's backstory. Do we get the full picture of that yet, or
Not just yet.
okay?
So her full backstory really comes to light in book 4.
Okay.
Which is currently out, but you're waiting for the audio. So
I've read part of it. I think I'm 7 or 8 chapters in.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
put a nice little dent into it, but I'm not
some of it.
completely. But they go to Japan in this one, correct? Or
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they've been talking about, yeah, we're going to Japan. Like, I can't wait to do a trip to Japan. Which, I mean, same. Because I would be broke. Because Kingdom Hearts
Yeah.
store. I would spend all my money at the Kingdom Hearts store. I don't care what anyone says.
I'd have to try and make sure I had enough money to ship everything back.
I would have an extra suitcase just for the extra shit.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So we get to see a lot of fun locations in this series.
Yep.
Would you walk us through which ones we get to visit and where, depending on like which mythologies people like enjoy, if this might be something for them?
Marcus himself ascribes to Nordic religions. So in book 1, kind of less so in other books, except for book 3, he kind of makes open prayers to Odin and Thor for strength and courage. And Gremlin, get back here. So like he ascribes to that religion, which you'll find out if you read the series that Odin is listening.
Mm-hmm.
Jaw dropped. And he actually makes an appearance.
Yeah. My jaw dropped at that.
And then we go to Cairo to visit the pyramids and the temple that made its appearance in book 1. And that's in book 3. Then we go to Japan, which is a lot of fun in book 4. And the place that we're missing now is Grestel. Grestel is the birthplace of monsters, if you will. So every creature that was not born of humanity came from this place called Grestel. And it is an existence of its own. Grestel itself is living. It's a breathing being that consumes both monsters and humans. So it's just as much a predator as the creatures that live on it. So we actually go there in book 2, which is fun as you're hunting for a certain relic to kind of give the party the power they need to face the beings that are coming into existence. It's a lot of fun trying to get there and survive because that place is fucking crazy.
Your mic's so little; it's not picking up as much when you get a little soft spoken. So just giving you a heads up on that. But I
use my big
heard
boy
what
voice?
You say. Yeah, use your big boy voice. You're gonna get that bass.
Yeah, okay, there we go. So yeah, Grestel, crazy fucking place. It's hard to survive there unless you have the power to survive there. Which as monsters, typically you usually have the power to do so. Grestel eats humans, so all the people that disappear on Mount Everest, not all of them are there. Gremlin, sorry.
You're good. Are there any locations or other pantheons you're hoping to explore while continuing the series, or do you have like a set end game for the High Table?
So much as you had said when you initially were introduced to the series, um, it mixes in with Extra.
Right.
So, like, they're in the same universe. End goal, eventually, I want them to kind of intersect and mesh. So that could mean Brindola coming to Earth, or it could mean our heroes from Earth coming to Brindola. But eventually, those worlds will collide in some way, shape, or form.
So when those collide, is it going to be like so? Let's see. How do I want to? I'm trying to figure out how the proper wording for this.
Okay.
Also, hi Maka. Um. How do I want to put this? I'll use this as an example. So Andrew Rowe series, he has the War of Broken Mirrors, then he has Arcane Ascension.
Okay.
Those kind of cross over together, and then he has the Six Sacred Swords, which is a character who's one of the main characters from.
It's a precursor series.
Kind of, yeah. So it's not like you don't really need to read one or the other to kind of get the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were taking Axe Druid and then the High Table, putting them together, would that be a whole new series, or would it be, book 7 of Axe Druid or like book 5 of High Table? Just throwing those numbers out there, not saying that's what.
So it would be book, what have you of High Table, but it would also be book like 4 to 6 or 7 of the new series that I'm writing. That is from a certain character's children's perspective.
Okay.
So like we won't get too much into that because that one's a secret for those of you that haven't. You're gonna want to get caught up.
Do what I'm doing. Just power through the audiobooks.
Yeah. Go. 3. It's okay. Who needs sleep?
Sleep deprived.
Yeah. But it's one of those ones where already the series are intermingling and interlocking. So those of you that have read Hijinks have been, at least Hijinks book 4, have been introduced to these characters, at least in a roundabout sort of way. And it's really interesting to see those dynamics and how they're going to intermingle. I've got plans for it.
I'm getting goosebumps. I'm excited. I don't want to drive today for Lyft. I want to just pull out my Kindle and read some more.
Well, good. As to other potential places that we can go, I mean, there are all kinds of lore-heavy, myth-rich places for people to really to get interested in and invested in. Some of those places could be lost and need to be found in order to.
Like I'm just gonna spitball when you say lost because I feel like you're giving me a hint there. You don't have to confirm this or not, but I'm gonna say, is it like a lost city almost? Kind of underwater. It might portray to like one of my favorite Disney animated films of all time.
Potentially.
All right, cool.
So I'm also gonna subvert some expectations for that one too. So
I'm gonna keep my excitement down because I'm totally not freaking out on the inside right now.
Rich is trying to just browbeat the rest of the series out of you.
Just tell me what you're doing. At some point,
I can do this all day.
At some point, they may or may not face down the end of the world. How that happens, it's in several mythologies. Like I said, the gods play a hugely important role in the series, and for those of you that haven't read book 4 yet, you're not really going to know why until you get there. But when it does hit like that, it's going to make sense, and it's going to piss you off, or it's going to be like one of those shit kind of moments. So I'd suggest. I'm not going to tell you not to make your money, man. But if you got that Kindle, I'd start flicking through, like on those pauses where you don't have any riders.
Oh, I actually do. I don't know how well my sound quality is. My cat wanted in the room now. When I actually in between rides or something, I'll just park in Barnes and Nobles and I'll pull out my Kindle and I'll just.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Because I did that with The Butcher's Masquerade by Matt Dinniman, Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 5. Because holy shit, that was.
Dude, this is so fucking popular.
Oh my
And
god.
Matt Dinniman, like, I actually got to meet him at DragonCon this year. Or no, not DragonCon. 20 Books. And he is the nicest fucking guy. He's so cool. So cool.
The nicest guy with the most dickish AI.
Yes. Yes. And he's well aware of that.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. And that's one thing I do like about this this genre is, we get to bring on authors like yourself and sometimes, narrators, because we have our two different we have technically 3 shows right now, because we have Boss Encounter, which is our author one. We have A Bard's Tale, which is our narrator one. And then we have Silver Tongue, which is the promo show we do, which we just had our first episode last week with TJ Reynolds, which that was a bonkers ass episode. That was fun. So that's but like every time we hear about like an author or anything, so just being overall nice, that doesn't surprise me, because like getting to interact with the different authors and everything in the Lit RPG groups, I've had nothing but pleasant experience. There's not one single author I've had any negative things to like come away with and be like, wow, that guy was a dick. Like I've had nothing but pleasant interactions with them, because I just treat them with respect. I get shown the respect back, and that's how. And even like if I say, "Oh, I didn't like that, but I understand why you did it," they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the response I was kind of hoping for. Either you were gonna hate it, you're not gonna be like, what the fuck, like what the fuck was that?"
Like, this guy's an asshole.
And like there's some authors that
it's
have,
okay, Gremlin.
like negative, like that negative persona around them or whatever. I've not seen it. I've not experienced that myself. Every author and narrator I've talked to have been some of the nicest people I've ever just been able to interact with, and I love that. And that's why I love this this genre so much, because they always say, don't meet your heroes. I've met a lot of my heroes doing this, and I love it. Because
like if you ever meet me in person, I will straight up hug you.
Dude, I've already decided if when I get to go to Dragon Con, or if I get to do this meet and greet I want to do in August when I come home, I'm getting a hug from everyone. I'm getting a big group photo.
It's gonna be crazy time.
It's gonna be a fun time. I'm Joel. You're gonna have to drive this time, because I'm the one drinking. Mr. 7.5 Miller Lights in. Yeah, we went to the bar when Joel was out here, and we went and played pool with a couple of my buddies from work that I've actually introduced to Lit RPG. And well, one of them was already a Lit RPG fan. The other one, I got him to listen. He's actually powering through Dungeon Crawler Carl right now, and he's like, "What am I doing next?" I said, "You're doing High Table. You're doing High Table."
Gotta do this, dude. Come on.
Which
it's like one of those come to the door. We've got drinks and cookies.
Yeah, we got bacon Bloody Marys, so
yeah.
Can I just point out?
I need that recipe before Joel cuts in. I need that recipe. Like, I want to try that, because that sounds really fucking good.
It's in the book, dude.
I don't remember. I got to go back and find it.
No, but one thing I really love about this series is the title. Like the way you title the series, they're always like a drink that you introduce in the series itself.
Yeah.
So he makes a galaxy in book 1.
The old-fashioned huntsman.
Yeah, an old-fashioned. Because an old-fashioned is just such like.
It's a good drink.
It's a fantastic drink, but it's also like a standard. right? It's a staple.
It is. And
So like you've got to have one.
and here's the funny thing. When while I was reading this, I learned that Bar Rescue was on Paramount Plus, so I'm powering through watching Bar Rescue, and almost every time someone asks for a drink, they always ask for an old fashioned. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a staple.
I'm gonna know how
you
to
gotta
make
have
this.
You have to. And then in book 3, it is Land of Drunken Pharaohs.
Mhm.
So you have a drunken pharaoh in that book, which is phenomenal. It tastes fucking
Which
so
there's
good.
an interaction I want to talk about now that we're talking about, drunken pharaohs, because we're going into Egyptian mythology.
Mhm.
One character I never thought would be absolutely batshit scared of something was Anubis.
Yep.
I was not ready for that. When Anubis first showed up, first off, his voice wasn't how I thought it was going to be, but I like it. Because it was kind of like deep and groggly, but I was like expecting it to be down here. Like I'm just down here. Like I was expecting like to have that kind of thing. And I was like, oh, I can actually understand what he's saying. That makes me happy. He's not
Anubis
terrifying
was
or one of the most toxic fucking characters to use in Smite, Joel.
Gemma. None of you is Gemma. Anubis makes his appearance in book 1, so we're not talking about spoilers or anything like that. He also makes an appearance. But he is characters. In book 5 that I'm working on right now.
You cut out there for a second, so I was like, I got to make sure.
Sorry, my internet. But yeah, he makes an appearance in book 5, which is going to be great. People are going to be like reeling from it. But he is nothing if not cautious, because as a god of the underworld, he knows like there's shit out there that can kill gods.
Oh yeah,
like even the gods are not immune to death. They may be immortal, but they're not true immortals. They can be brought back to life in certain ways, certain manners, but they're capable of being killed. And he knows that there are some things out there that are older and more powerful than him, and that's part of why he gets so scared of Galaxy, because she is older than his ability to even counter him.
There's something going on with Galaxy, and the more we talk about her, the more and more scared I get.
Yeah, I feel that.
Trust me, man. Once you get through book 4, you're gonna understand a lot more than you ever did, and absolutely fucking.
God damn, I'm gonna be diving into so many goddamn series. Fuck. And I'm talking to someone right now, and I always update her like when I'm on a new book or something. And she asked me, she goes, "Do you just like read all day?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like I always have a book playing.
Yeah, I'm never not reading NNR, so you're not with it.
And I'm like, I need my physical copies for my bookshelf, but I also like my Kindle because I'm just like, okay, library, audio.
Yeah.
I think, what am I at now on Audible? I'm at 261 titles, and that's starting in November of 2019.
Oh shit, that's like months of audio right there.
Yeah.
I'm at like 376.
Yeah, Joel and I have a library.
But I started like 5 years, I think.
Yeah, Joel's like, oh yeah, I started. You started when you first started working for the company you work for now, which would have been before I moved. So that would have been 20.
I think I'm coming up on my 5th year anniversary working there. So
yeah, I'm on my 6th year at my day job, but I've got like maybe 8 audiobooks. That goes to show you how much time I have to actually listen to fucking.
That's over a year of listening.
Yeah, it's just 8. It's all of it.
Zekler just posted in the comments, I only have 143. Thank you, Zekler.
Those are rookie numbers. You gotta get those numbers up.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
he
great.
also went crazy and bought like a bunch of books on the Audible sale,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
which
Not to
it's
mention Book
funny.
Funnel as well.
So my when Joel was out here, my buddy Alex came and he saw us at the bar, and we told him about the audio. So we come home. Joel and I are playing Elden Ring. I pass out. I wake up around 2:30, 3 o'clock Mountain Time.
Oh god.
Alex has sent me a text message or like 2 videos of him scrolling through his audio. He bought 217 books
Holy shit!
on that Audible sale.
Did you just copy and paste your library to his like wish list or something?
I've been telling him about books. I'm like, okay, check this out, check this out, check this out, check this out. And he's like, okay, so which I mean, he's also kind of I don't know how he compliments it because he listens at 2.9 speed,
What the fuck?
right? Because I gifted him a copy of Cyber Squad Level 2 by AK Masikat. And he was like, I'm done. I was like, what the fuck? I just bought that for you not even 7 hours ago. And he goes, yeah, I listened to it at 2.9 speed. I was like, how did you listen to what was going on?
Ahead.
And like I don't
Let's not.
I don't bash anyone for listening to it like, 1.5 speed or anything like that. But when you get to double the speed and goes like it sounds like Animal Crossing, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, like if you sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks while I'm trying to listen to a book, I can't.
Which I mean, I've sped up like a book to like I think 1.15 speed for a certain couple of books because I was like, all right, what the fuck's going on? Like, it's a little slow for my taste, and it's a narrator I even love, but it's just the pacing of the book was a little slow. So that's the only reason I sped it up, and then it got to good stuff, and I slowed it back down. I was like, all right, here we go. This is the pace I was wanting.
Yep, we need that.
This pacing for this series, what the fuck? Just what the fuck? What the fuck?
It's all over the fucking place. And like I've had people address me and be like, "Hey man, look, your series is great. I love it. What the fuck?" And I'm like, hey, how are you? What do you mean? And they're like, so like they go from like one crazy instance of like their lives are in jeopardy to another crazy instance of their lives are fucking in jeopardy. And there's like no break. There's no life happening in between there. There's no like coming to terms with what they had. Like it's just back to back, balls to the wall, like slamming it home every single fucking book. And I'm like, I'm just wondering, like,
there's some slamming, all right. I won't lie. Yeah. There's some slamming between.
There are a lot of scraps.
A lot of scraps. A lot of fights.
A lot of scraps. Fights and scraps. Some right, one after the other.
How did you come up with when they decided to do that terminology switch for fighting and scrapping?
So
if you don't know what we're talking about,
you don't need to know.
You'll read the series and you'll find out because you'll be like, oh, that makes because
the Oni look at everything as if it is a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be like whether it is an actual spar to a genuine fight to getting busy, and they call that fighting because it's meant to be rough, it's meant to be hard and decisive. There are no tender moments there, just tender hips. But so like Marcus being human and a vessel for Galaxy, he's like, all right, hey, look, I understand that you probably mean this, but like you're saying fight, and I know what a fight is, and I'm down to throw hands, but like if you want to go to like a corner somewhere and fight, like
like bang out our issues.
Yeah, like I need a high sign, I need a different kind of word, so let's just call that scrap. Because, like, afterward I feel like bruised sheet metal, but So that was what he he decided that he needed to have that the extra intricacy to what she meant, because he was just getting to know her.
He didn't want to.
Still,
She didn't say he didn't want it to be the whole like, hey, I want to fight. He goes, okay, just punches her in the face.
yeah, and surprisingly, she would probably be into that. Like,
Jesus fucking Christ.
there have been some times, man, where he's a little confused, and
That's why they had to come up with the terminology for
things are said and done in the sack that should not have probably been done. But I mean, Cassie is into it, and she fucking hits back. So,
and that's what I like about their relationship. Like, they have something that's just like casual, but it shows like they actually care for each other. But it's like we don't want a relationship type thing, because I have my baggage, you have your baggage. I just want to keep it casual.
yeah, like, and people also like latched onto that. Like, she says straight up that, like, I don't love you, and like it's true. She didn't mean it disrespectfully.
She doesn't love him.
I don't love you.
Care about him.
Yeah, like, it doesn't mean that like I don't give a shit about you. It just means that like this isn't one of those things that you need to worry about. You're going to do what you're going to do, and we're going to have what we have on the side, and that's okay.
And there's the
and then later on,
Scott.
Hello. Oh,
for those who are listening to this on audio, it's a Lunarkins, the official Lit RPG kitten for Stats on Stats. We did have a question in the comments.
Yes.
Mr. Zeckler, our other cast member, Derek. What was your main inspiration for Axe Druid? I know this answer because we talked about it the other night, but I'll let you answer this.
My main inspiration for Axe Druid was my friend. So, sorry, Kid Bell.
Oh no.
You're okay, Gremlin. Come here.
Oh no, cat fight behind me.
You want to beep? So Axe Druid was designed for me and my friends who, at the time, were dealing with a friend passing away in a rather terrible manner, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all, and I missed him. I still miss him like crazy. I came from a place when I was in the Marine Corps where I could see my friends every day to being essentially like removed from all of them. So I missed them. So this was a way for me to kind of work through his death and go on one last adventure with my friend, which was what I needed, and I didn't even know it. So I'm writing the stories, and I'm just trying to showcase how fucking awesome they are, and like how powerful, and like how much they touched my life and my world. And like, I didn't think anybody was ever really actually going to read Axe Druid. I thought for sure I was going to put the books out. I was going to finish the series anyway because this is a passion project of mine. I was convinced nobody was going to read it, but when people responded to it the way they did, I was just floored, blown away. So I started writing faster. And it was crazy.
Hi
there, Godzilla. I'm not.
Oh goodness.
He's having a rough time. You went down. There you go. Go be a goblin. Take your little cape. Yes. But yeah, the inspiration for Axe Druid was my friends. So all of the people that you see there, Yo, Jakin, Bocage, Balmer, James, all of them were real people, are real people. And they're just as fucking insane as they are in the books. Oh, Moo. God, I forgot Moo. If he sees this, he's gonna fucking murder me.
I'll need his Twitter handle so I can tag him.
Yeah. He's on Discord, so he'll probably see this. But, I mean, like, all of my friends are in there. They make crazy cameos. Hell, for those of you who are reading High Table Hijinks and haven't read Axe Druid, Moo makes his appearance in book 4.
Ooh.
And it is nuts.
And then of course we have, Zeke.
Yep. Zeke is me. I am Zeke.
And Zeke shows up in High Table.
Book 1.
Yeah. And he has
Well,
some fun little moments.
The persona doesn't. So a lot of people don't realize this until I actually say it. But I am Zeke, right?
Mhm.
So in High Table, when you meet that guy with a big white dog and a little tan and white one, that's me. That's the author of the Axe Druid series, like finding these people just fucking hanging out in his backyard talking to his dog after he took his other dog for a walk.
Which was a
So
fun
he's
moment. That was a really
Yeah.
fun little moment because then he's like, "Oh no, I'm protecting. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
good boy.
So you'll see more how that plays into the lore, Druid and hijinks, and it's
I'm
It's
already like I'm making sure I double pay attention to all the similarities and stuff. It's like, all right, how is this going to affect other series? How is this what's going to happen? What is going on?
what's going on in this universe.
A bunch of hijinks.
Yeah, hijinks,
I'll take a drink to that one.
magic, and big ol' act.
So, if you are looking at some of Chris's stuff on audio or anything like that, or on Kindle, he does have 6 books in the Axe Druid series. He has 3 books on Audible for High Tables, and then book 4 is out on Kindle. Audio is probably coming soon. We don't.
Yep.
No, and then
It's in post. So.
also we have Mephisto's Magic Online. He has a compendium for that one, which is the first 3 books, and then he also has the separate books. But holy shit, we're not gonna dive into that one just yet because that's gonna be a whole other episode. What the fuck?
Yeah. So I'll be completely honest. I was in a pretty dark place when I wrote that series. One, because I wanted to write something different. I'd been writing Axe Druid for 4 books at the time, and I got this idea for the series that I thought, hey, this would be fun. This would be something that I can go to kind of blow off some steam. I didn't know I was going to blow off that much fucking steam.
Yeah, I could tell. I wanted to ask you if you were okay after I finished the first book. I'm scared to get on.
Yeah, holy shit.
Because don't get me wrong, I like
and
my
then
dark shit. Sometimes we need a break from the lighthearted comedy and stuff like that, and the fun little romance. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was one of those ones where that's enough slices. No, seriously, that's enough fucking slices, and it just didn't stop. There's so many fucking slices on your plate there. By book 3, which is the current where the series has kind of stagnated for now because it's not doing what I need it to. It gets fucking just drops fucking bombs and shit on you, dark.
It's like Rodan coming in from the sky as a meteor dropping bombs.
Yeah, like Rodan, fucking.
Fuck you, Rodan, and your horse.
Yep, you and you're adorable. We're not gonna cry for Rodan because he's a fucking badass. God damn. But yeah, no, that series, everything that was so dark that I wanted to put into Axe Druid but didn't have the balls to, or the heart to, I put into Mephisto's, and it is insane.
It's really good though.
It's fucking nuts. And by the series, again, in a really dark place, my sister had passed away of drug overdose. So it was one of those things where, okay, Gremlin, I understand. She had passed away, and I was just in a really dark place, and I needed something as an outlet, and that was that book. You're being spicy.
Little gremlin.
Yes. But yeah, that series, like, if you want something dark that's going to make you like reflect on some of the shit and interactions that you've had, that book's for you.
Hi there. I'm gonna. Oh, never mind. I was gonna angle my camera down because I have a see-through glass, and Lunar's trying to climb my desk right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So we all have gremlins we're dealing with.
Yeah.
I put my gremlins outside.
Yeah, I can't do that to this one. She'll climb up the fence. She's like a little monkey. Okay, I'll pick you up.
I mean, there's another goblin that likes cookies. You could always try to give her cookies.
Yeah, I could try.
Oh,
She's less into cookies and more into hey dad, you better pick me the hell up or I'm gonna break you.
that's fair. That's fair.
I will break you.
So we'll go ahead and start wrapping up the show a little bit and give our final thoughts. What we're excited about. Hey Joel.
Yeah.
Joel. Where do you want to see the series go from here? Like since.
Oh man.
I gotta.
Yeah, no, you're good. I honestly would like to see it explore more of like the Fae. And just I don't know, because he is the so you have the high table, and we didn't really go over this, but he gets like the powers of the hunt. And so as far as like the Fae, there's some sort of like thing going on there. So I don't know. For me, I would be really interested to see where that goes. One thing that I feel like we didn't talk about that I wanted to go over is just how Galaxy like brings a lit RPG power base to this urban fantasy world. It's just like so unique, and I just really enjoyed that.
So the system, as it will, or as it is her.
Yeah.
So you find out she has memories of this was how things were. So when she created, her people, they had this system, and it was able to make them powerful. And with that, she was able to have them like work together or work against each other because gods are chaotic and they like to see people fucking struggle. But it was always that they have quantifiable ways to grow and to show that they have the ability to do the things that she wanted them to do. So her priests, we'll find this out a little later on, were supremely because they would bring her sacrifices. And those sacrifices would be used to consume to create experience that she could then give specifically to them. So, like, people grow in new and interesting ways. Other beings grow in new and interesting ways because she was their goddess. And for Marcus and the other blessed, they have her personal blessing. So, for all intents and purposes, they are right now her priests, islands, and her ways of manifesting her power in this universe where she is currently. So, I mean, it's one of those aspects of like, okay, how can I introduce this into the series and have it make sense? Well, that's because she's a goddess and because magic. So fuck you.
That's
that was
the best way to explain it. It's because magic. Fuck you.
Yeah. It's not just hand waving them. It's what she had done and it's what she remembers. So that's how she does it. And as she goes through the series, she gets more power and more memories because she's regaining her strength. And her memories are flooding back as she goes through those different milestones. So there comes a time when she figures out that the wild hunt was hers. It was always hers. So that may have been a slight spoiler for book 4.
I'm okay. I kind of figured. I've had some inkling when it comes to My girl Galaxy. Plus the fact that she takes the form of a cat, and now I have 3 cats behind me. Well, 2,
Yeah.
and then one's laying at my feet.
So that two-faced cat on the first book, that's Galaxy.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting her to look like that, but she did.
Honestly, I kind of
yeah.
want to get like a Galaxy
Okay.
tattoo of like her wrapping around my arm because that's really freaking cool.
Please do. You would be like the second person that's gotten a tattoo from one of my series, and
Hell yeah.
I'm so wildly into that.
I have so many tattoos planned out. Like I've decided I'm just gonna turn one arm into nothing but Gamelit and Lit RPG, and I'm just gonna like make it a whole sleeve. And people are gonna be like, "What is the inspiration for that?" Well, so you have this book, you have the Mist Village, you have Mountaindale, you have there's an axe here.
There's this big ass hammer. The hammer falls, rises again.
So
the dwarves and their religion, that's huge for a lot of people.
We are obviously going to do another episode with Chris here because we're going to, dive more into some of his other series later on, and hopefully we can get a certain Mr. Christian on next time because I have some stuff I want to say to that man. I want to yell at him, but in a good way. If you saw the episode with Travis Baldry, if you saw the episode with Travis Baldry where I yelled at him and I had to mute Joel because he wasn't to a certain part in a series yet, it'll be kind of like that because Christian's got me a little emotional at a few times.
Yeah,
and I need to yell at both of you for that one.
If I made you cry, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
No, if you like, I'm a softie. I'm a softie. I act like a hard ass at times. Joel, don't even fucking say anything because I know you're gonna make fun of me. Like
what?
I'm a softie.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I'm a softie. I cry at movies. I won't lie. I cried at the Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, I'm a softie.
No Way Home fucked me up.
Oh, No Way Home fucked me up, but also Amazing Spider-Man 2 fucked me up. And here's the thing. This is what pissed me off even more. Because, Joel, were you there for the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I think so.
Because it was you, me, Zach Patchett, Raven, and Casey.
Yeah.
Okay. Right as Gwen Stacy's back snapped. Casey Johnson leaned over and goes, "High five!" And I was like, "Fuck you!" Like I'm over here emotional. Like I knew what was happening, and I think anyone who saw the trailer like knew and saw the iconic outfit, you're like, "Oh yeah, she's fucked. She's fucked."
She's just breaking her back to not being in any more movies. Huh?
I mean, I thought her back was just broken from carrying the series, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like if and this goes to any author, any narrator, if your performance is that good and your writing is that amazing that you fuck me up emotionally, you did a good job. Because I'm emotionally damaged as it is. So if you fucked me up emotionally and had me actually crying at work, okay, then calm down. Then yeah, you did a damn good job. And I commend you for that because I try to be as hollow as possible, but no, I'm not. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping up. So, Joel.
Yeah.
You know the drill. What have we been reading?
Just a minute.
Jeez.
I have been reading Blessed Times Book 3, which just came out. Shout out to Kale. Also Livy Weiner's book 2. For I think book 1 is called Awaken, book 2 is called Kingdom of Sails. Also just came out. Dokeshi March. Dakota Kraut's book 3 in the Year of the Sword was really good.
Shout out to Dakota Kraut.
Yeah. Shout out to Dakota Kraut and Travis.
Because we can't have a Mountaindale episode without talking about the man himself.
No, obviously not.
Yeah.
Multiple.
First Fist, I started. Dicking Around, I finished.
Dicking Around was great.
Dicking Around was fantastic. And also the third book, I think, in Viceroy's Bride. Yeah, I think it's the third book. Read that as well. I think that's what I got.
Yeah.
So
a bunch of fantastic books coming out recently.
Oh,
For me, I read Death Game Quality Assurance, which is a like 2-hour little thing from Andrew Rowe, and it's free on Audible if you have the membership, like the included with Audible membership. It's fantastic. It's hilarious. Dicking around, I reread Monster Hunter International because I want to continue more through that series, which not a lit RPG, but it's a fun little time. I made it through Land of the Elements, books 1 through 3 by Aaron Oster.
Mhm.
Finished Starbreak by Aaron Oster because I'm reading through the Rise to Omniscience series.
Yeah.
I was rereading the rules, also by Aaron Oster because I
Okay.
was on an Aaron Oster kick.
Apparently.
First Fist by TJ Reynolds, which we did our promo last week, and it was fucking awesome. TJ kills it, and
Also a really nice guy.
super nice.
I don't think I've ever met him in person. He's
Super nice guy. The Feedback Loop, Volume 1, Books 1 through 4 by Harmon Cooper.
Okay.
Holy shit, the remaster is great. It was so good. Jeff killed it, of course. I don't know Heroes of Last Resort by J.K. Galeto and C.T. Snopes, which is Zach Johnson's debut for Soundbooth Theater with Jeff Hayes and Annie Elcott, I believe. Yes, it is Annie. I did read the first book in Dokeshi March, or in the Year of the Sword, so Lord January.
Okay.
Fantastic.
right. Great series.
I think. Infiltrate by Alex Knowles. Really good. It was a different take on his other series, which is, I think it's a racing series.
Power Cultivation, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Zach Johnson sent me a review copy of I'm the Bad Guy, Book 2 by Simon Archer, and holy shit, he killed it. He absolutely fucking killed it.
That series is nuts. I haven't read it, but I've seen like really good fucking things.
It's funny, and like a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, it's Simon Archer, so it's gonna be haremy." It's not as haremy as you think. Like it's very light.
With burning those expectations, man.
Yeah, it's burning very lightly on the harem side. Like there is a little minor harem. It shows a little more in book 2 than it does in book 1, but seeing it from a good guy playing the bad guy and dealing with the heroes who are good guys but actually bad guys is fucking awesome.
Dude, chapter 2 had me excited about a tower defense game.
In the first book, yeah.
How do you do that in a book? But dude, it's good.
It's really good.
I love that. Yeah.
But now, or hey Chris, what have you been reading? If you want to say what have you been reading?
Let's see. Here lately, I actually just finally got the chance to try Brightblade. I'm on like page 1.
Just
because I am a slut for my own work. So if I go too long without writing it, it gets mad at me. I've been reading Path of Ascension, which is actually on Royal Road right now, and it's getting its debut book with Aethon here soon.
I like Aethon. Aethon's put out some really good
Mantis.
books.
Mantis is a fantastic author if you like cultivation on a galactic scale. This is huge. It's a huge series. It's so much fun, and it's one of the few things that can actually get me out of my own work. That keeps me out of my own work. So, like, if there are a couple of chapters available on that, it's going to be, like, something I'm reading all of today, and maybe even tomorrow, because I don't want to work while this is out. I need to be reading parenting books because apparently my goblin thinks that if I cry enough, she's gonna get what she wants.
And then also, speaking of Brightblade and Jez, he actually just announced this morning that he has a new series coming out in May called Arise Alpha. The dude is a machine.
Monster. He is a fucking machine. And he's, again, I know I say this like he's such a nice guy. He's so cool. Like I've I've talked to him in messages like a few times on Messenger. He's such a delight, and that's why I felt so guilty about taking my time to get to Brightblade, because I hear the series is so fucking great.
It's intense.
Like,
And I've only
yeah,
read
it's
the
on my
first book.
QPR.
I've only read the first book. I have books, I believe 2, 3, and 4 on Audible, and
Yeah,
I've drifted away and I feel bad. Don't yell at me, Jess.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I promise I'll be getting back to it.
He's like, you bought the books. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And anytime
I
he goes
got my
live,
money.
I'll pop in and like he actually says, like he goes, "Oh hey Richie, how's it going today?" I'm like, "You know me. You're so cool." But yeah, there's so many good books out right now, and it's so hard to pick
Yeah.
and choose like what I'm gonna read, what I'm not gonna read. And then Harmon told me, he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna have, he's sending me a signed copy of Tokens and Towers." He said that'll be
Oh,
out
yeah.
this week. Which, if you haven't read that one on Kindle yet, oh my god, holy shit,
His books are just great. They're so fun.
funny.
They're so good.
It's so funny, and I'll explain some after the show actually when it comes to that one. But the audio is coming out, and Daniel and Rebecca Woods are doing the audio for that, and oh my god,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, they're
can't
great.
wait. And I actually learned that Rebecca was a part of it on the TJ Reynolds episode I did on Thursday last week, because I was like, "Oh yeah, Dan, like I'm so excited for Tokens." He's like, "Yeah, Rebecca's on it too." I said, "Wait, what?" He goes, Harmon didn't tell you?" I was like, "No, Harmon did not fucking tell me that."
You bastard.
So, but we'll go ahead and get to the plugs, because I need to head out here in like the next like 30 minutes, because I'm running very late now. Joel, where can people find you?
You can find me on Discord or Twitter or Twitch. Sir Valor Hunter. On across the internet.
Was that a Ren I just heard?
Probably. She is pretty crazy.
Anthony.
Hey, Chris, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at JonesTJohns. You can find me on Facebook, either by my actual name, Chris Murphy, or my author name, Christopher Johns. I'm on Discord. I'm on Messenger. I swear to God, and these guys can vouch for me. If I tell you that you can message me and talk to me about my books or pretty much anything, I fucking mean that.
Yeah, he does. I've talked to him. Like we were just talking Elden Ring one night, like around the time Elden Ring came out, and I was like, "Yeah, this is the character I'm making." He goes, "That's badass," and I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Still need to not get my ass kicked so much in that fucking game.
And that's what I say. Like when I say that I love this community so much because I get to interact with so many authors, I fucking mean it. Like I talk to probably 3 or 4 authors on a daily basis that I've formed good relationships with, and
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I talk to Chris probably once or twice a week now since I started.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Yeah,
They're so much fun.
because we just bullshit, and I'm like, okay, here's where, and I update him even where I'm at in like the books. I'm like, all right, here's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Here's what's going on. He's like, all right,
We need to get you on this, Joel. We need
Yeah.
to have you fucking
I'll
drop me a
form a
line
chat.
every now.
I'll just form a group chat for us.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I am reactive to social media, so if you tag me in anything, I'll look at it, but I am not very proactive.
No, I'm the active one on social media, which you can always find me at Rich
I am on
Dolphus.
social media almost all the time.
Same.
If you can find me, and we'll talk.
If you guys need links, just check the Stats on Stats Lit page on Twitter, because I tagged him multiple times on Twitter already, and he's got his links there. But you can always find me at Rich Dolphus on Twitter. I'm busy right now. I'm slammed, but if you reach out to me, I will talk to you. like
Talk
I
to me
said,
and stuff. We'll have fun.
yeah, I talk to everyone. But if you want to be a part of the Discord server, let me know. I can post another invitation link on the Stats on Stats page on Twitter, or I can even do it on my personal Twitter, because we're trying to build a community. We have fun. Like we just talk about books, and we have a good time. And if you see Joel and I like in the gaming chat on Discord or anything, don't hesitate to join. We are going to be starting streams up soon. Here, I want to say probably later this week. I might do a stream later tonight. I don't know. I have a lot of stuff I'm working on at the moment, and I think maybe a couple fun, exciting announcements coming up soon. But if you missed our last episode, where I decided, hey, we're gonna do a D&D campaign with a bunch of fun shit, be sure to watch out for that announcement, like where we say, here's all who's involved, because it's gonna be a 2-part session on Twitch.
He told me a little bit about it. I'm gonna try and build the hype. This shit sounds like fun.
Oh, it's
And
gonna
that's
be
not me just saying like to be polite because they had me on the show. Like that's cool. I'll come back pretty much at any fucking time. But like the nerd in me who's played D&D and Pathfinder and shit heard this and was like, oh, instantly like I've got to be a part of it.
And even if you're not a part of it, I'm gonna include you somehow.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna fucking scream and shout and be like, that's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
My cat
You're
is trying to
mad.
stare down from the hallway right now. I don't know what to do. Do I challenge him?
They're back. Search Domino.
Nah,
If you're not ready
he
to
runs my
challenge
life. He runs
Don't
my
stare
life. And I'm going on vacation in like 2 weeks. Like a week from this coming Saturday, actually. So I'm going to be gone for a week, and I don't know how he's going to react.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm going to Disney. I'm going to have a blast.
Yeah.
I'm going to come home with a Keyblade.
Do it.
Well, my mom said I can't go to
Seriously,
Star Wars
yeah.
Land because she goes, that's for nerds. And I said, yeah, I know. That's why I want to go.
I made my mind.
But for all things lit RPG, game lit, cultivation, dungeon core, etc., this has been Stats on Stats with Chris Johns, one of the nicest guys out there. And I genuinely
That's
mean
what's
that. But look forward to our shows because we do have a show actually coming up on Sunday with Mr. J. Arthur Klein for Extra Credit, the Kobold Necromancer series. So if you like kobolds and you like necromancers, or you like one or the other, you better tune in because it's going to be a fun show.
Sounds like a great match.
That's going to be a great show. And then at the end of the month, we have Ryan DeBruin coming back on.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Ryan.
We love Ryan here because this will be the second time he's actually been on the show. So
He's
he'll be
Canadian, so it's kind of like nice guys in his blood, but like
which he actually
so
gave
nice.
us a shout out during LitCon. Like during his panel,
Oh,
like
really?
I just popped in and he was like, yeah, it's Ryan. And he goes, oh yeah, guys, go follow Stats on Stats. I was like, oh, you didn't have to do that, but I like that. I like that, sir. That was nice. I love doing this show. I genuinely mean that. I am overwhelmed and stressed at the moment, but this is my escape. I love doing this show. And I appreciate everyone who listens and tunes in and asks questions and all that fun stuff. And of course, I always appreciate our authors. Joel, he's okay, but still, I appreciate our authors and other guests. So, when I say I genuinely love doing this, I genuinely love doing this. But for all things lit RPG, game lit, dungeon core, and cultivation, this has been Stats on Stats. I hope you had a wonderful time, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.